This is Alex Hormozi. He's a multi-millionaire and one of the most successful people on this side of the internet. And the crazy thing about Alex is he hates morning routines. I used to be a morning routine type of guy, but now I kind of agree with him. While Alex definitely exists on one end of the spectrum, he does see a problem I see too. Most morning routines suck, and social media has caused them to deviate so far away from what a morning routine should be. So in this video, I want to help you design a morning routine that works for you and your goals, so you don't have to pay attention to all this other noise anymore. First, the problem. Influencer morning routines have created an unrealistic standard. I cannot imagine a morning routine with 28 steps that take over 3 hours is realistic to most people. There is a particular type of person where this is beneficial for, but we'll get to that. The influencer that I'm calling out would say to me, I'm just sharing what my morning routine is. I'm not telling them to do the same as me. And to that I would say, okay, fine. But why are you posting it in the first place? Is it because you believe you are so healthy and so wholesome that people need to see it and they'll be inspired by you? Of course not. You post it for clicks, views, and likes. You know people are interested in morning routines because they're not happy with what their lives are like, and they want to make changes. They believe a morning routine can be a potential solution for them. But when they see your morning routine, they think to themselves, shit, is my life really that bad that this is not even a possibility for me? They're in the same position, but now they feel worse about themselves. Or maybe they do give it a shot, but because they have classes and a job to go to, they can't keep it up. And so they reinforce this story, this belief about themselves that they're not disciplined and lazy. Two things that you cannot believe about yourself if you're going to make changes in your life. I feel the same way about science-based morning routines popularized by Huberman. It's not because the morning routine is bad. It's not because that the habits are bad. They're not. They definitely can be advantageous for you. But there is a tweet from Alex Hormozi that sums this up quite nicely for me. America was built on the backs of men who smoked cigarettes, drove without seatbelts, and had bacon for breakfast. If you miss your biohacking routine this morning, you're gonna be okay. People who do self-improvement love to focus on their morning routines and their habits. And I get why. I used to be that guy. I try to infuse many different types of self-improvement habits into my morning routine. Stuff like meditating, journaling, practicing gratitude, practicing the Wim Hof breath work, taking morning walks, you name it, I tried it all. I believe to be successful, these were the habits I needed to have. They were realistically things I could do right now to make me feel like I was making progress. There is another tweet from Hormozi that speaks to this as well. The majority of people I see talking about millionaire habits develop their weird personal hygiene habits after they made their money. Then everyone thinks they need a 3-hour morning routine to get rich. You don't. You just need to sell shit people want many times. We're not talking about getting rich specifically, we're talking about your goals in general. And from what I have realized after trialing many different morning routines over the years, is anything in addition to what I'm currently doing just gets in the way. They get in the way of me doing what I should be doing. Work. All these other habits, they're just healthy procrastination. The best morning routine is the one that allows you to get the highest amount of productive hours of work in. Often, that means just starting. I don't agree with this entirely, but I do agree with it in principle. That's the key word. Focus on principles, not tasks. So here are some principles for your morning routines that are definitely worthwhile following. Think about your day as a story. The morning routine is just the introduction. It sets the scene for what is about to follow. The body of the story is where all the stuff happens. The events, the fights, the achievements. The conclusion wraps everything up into a nice package. Good storytellers actually write the introduction with a conclusion in mind. So the beginning actually starts at the end. Keep that in mind, it's important for later. The morning routine only exists to serve the rest of your day. We all know of a story that has an introduction that drags on way too long. It just gets in the way of the good stuff. The best introductions are the ones that give you just the right amount of information to set the context of the story, the characters, the goals, and the obstacles. The best morning routines are the ones that give you the minimum preparation necessary to achieve your goals. That means that you need to identify what exactly is your goal for the day and what you want that morning routine to achieve. What you don't do is more important than what you do. For example, not hitting the snooze button 5 times is more important than a cold shower. Not scrolling on your phone is more important than taking a morning walk. Not rushing out the door in a frenzy is more important than meditating for 10 minutes. Cold showers, morning walks, and meditation all have health benefits in their own right. If you can integrate them into your morning routine, cool. They will increase your mood and your focus, but not as much as not doing the things that make you feel bad. Eliminating snoozing, distractions, disorganization will get you 80% of the way. The other 20% I don't think is necessary, especially if it's detracting from the amount of time you can work. The third principle is designing your day according to what your chronotype is. There is a really good video by Rian about chronotypes, and I'll link it in the description below. In short, most people fall into one of 3 chronotype categories. You have larks, night owls, and third birds. Your chronotype is determined by your genetics. They mediate your sleep-wake cycle. Therefore, the time of day where you're most productive and most focused is going to depend on what your chronotype is. I believe that I am a third bird. Most people are actually. I have noticed that I am most focused between 7 AM and 12 PM. This is where I do my highest quality work most productively. I often fall into an afternoon slump, so that's where I like to put my gym sessions on non-work days. Evenings are good for abstract thought and creativity. Nights are okay to do simple, repetitive tasks that don't require much thinking, like video editing. That is how I like to structure my days. But if you're a lark, you would want to wake up earlier, get all the work done so you have the evenings and nights free. If you're a night owl, then waking up later in the day and having a 3-hour plus morning routine would be advantageous. Your most productive and focused hours won't be kicking in until later in the evening and into the night. Schools, universities, and workplaces are set up for larks and third birds depending on the industry. So there is some inflexibility here, but overall, do what you can. Danko has a philosophy I actually quite like. Fill your mind in the afternoons with books, learning, and socialization. Empty your mind before bed with journaling, planning, and meditation. Use your mind in the morning with creation, output, and focus. Feel, empty, and use your mind until your craziest ideas become reality. A good writer writes the introduction with the conclusion in mind. That means that your morning routine starts the night before. I made a full video about fixing my sleep and the importance of sleep that is definitely worth checking out. But the main point is doing what you can to make sure that you're getting an appropriate amount of sleep. 7 to 9 hours. You are never going to have a solid morning routine that refreshes you and prepares you for your day if you keep sabotaging yourself the night before. The single most important thing you can do for your mornings is getting a good night's sleep. You may be wondering what my morning routine looks like after implementing these principles. I typically wake up between 6 and 8 o'clock. I try to not use an alarm, but if I go to bed particularly late one night, then I will use an alarm to make sure I get up on time. Immediately after waking, I do everything related to my own personal hygiene. That's going to the bathroom, brushing my teeth, and having a cold shower. Then, I get changed, make my bed, drink some water, and sit down to do some work. That's it. That's all I do for my morning routine, and I feel perfectly fine. I've shown you what the rest of my day looks like, and that's all for this video. Watch this video next if you're interested in fixing your sleep to set up your mornings right.